All right, we are live. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am so excited to be here with you this afternoon and to do another series of Author Spotlight. And I have with me today my very own pastor, Juanita Corey Jackson. But before we get into this conversation, as you are coming in the room, I'm going to ask that you drop your name in the chat. Let me know where you're streaming from so we can give you an official hello, say hello, and just shout you out, right? We are, if you're joining me for the first time, if you just happen to be scrolling through Facebook and you see me, I am Joan T. Randall. I am a speaker, I'm an author, I'm a coach, I'm an elder. But most importantly, I love God and I love talking to God about, I love talking to God, yes. And I also love talking to people about God. And I'm excited to be here with one of my favorite people in the world, my pastor. You've known, I've said this all the time. If you know me for any length of time, you know I always say, I was waiting, God sent her because I was ready, right? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so my teacher appeared like 3 or 4 years ago. And here we are today. Now we're doing so many things together, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to give her an opportunity to introduce herself, and then we're going to go into some dialogue because what we want to talk about today is how many books she has written, how many books that she has written that Victorious You Press has published, what is she doing right now, currently in her life, and impact with Victorious You Press, and some other things that we're getting ready to discuss. So share this broadcast out, let people know that we are on. And listen, if you are an author, or if you have written a book and you want to be showcased or on this platform to just talk about your journey, we invite you to message me so that we can get you here on Fridays between 12:30 and 1:30. We will be doing author showcase. So, Overseer, let the people know a little bit about you and what you do.
Wow. Well, first, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And you always say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But listen, it is ditto. You are equally as important in my life, in the ministry, and everything that God has us doing together in the world. So I'm Juanita Corey Jackson. I'm the visionary for I Believe God Ministries International. We have several churches that we oversee and businesses, because it is not church as usual, and individuals who want to partner with us in ministry. And then I have this brand new baby that I'm sure we'll talk about today, called Global Impact University Consulting. And I'm excited.
She can now build on with multiple streams of income. Talk to us about Books to Business for you.
Yeah. It's funny because I never really had the goal of being an author. That wasn't really on my checklist, right? When we grow up and we're like, okay, I want to accomplish this and this and that. Being an author, honestly, was not on my list. It was something that the very first book that I got was a book deal, and it was something that just kind of fell in my lap. And it's funny, I reached right out to you. I was like, Joan, I know you are the guru of books and authorship. Tell me, is this a good book deal? Should I accept it? What should I do? And you guided me through that process, and thank you again for that. But it was as a result of that first book that I realized what books or what being an author does for you, and why then it became something I wanted to add to my list of things that I wanted to accomplish. But it not only does it give you credibility, but it gives you authority. So it's like you get to you're showing up in spaces. And let me backspace for a second. All of my books are within my realm of my work. So all of my books are relationship focused. I am a relationship therapist. This is what I do, right? And so I write within the industry that I'm already familiar with, and the industry that I have my accreditations in and my degrees in. And so being able to then add being an author into that field just gave me that much more credibility and authority to say, wow, now when Patrice comes in and she comes to speak, she's not just speaking, as a counselor, she's also speaking as someone that has written and done research and recorded or documented her research or her philosophies, her theories in a book and multiple books. And so it's really given me the opportunity to have more speaking engagements. I've made money from my books. I've made money from this fourth book that hasn't come out yet. Right. But the money isn't the driving factor. It is more so the platform that being an author gives me. And like I said, that authority. And when I say authority, I don't say that in a cocky way, like I'm trying to be powerful or better than someone else. I mean, it gives me leverage to say that I really am versed in this area, so much so that I can write on it, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. And here's the thing, because of you and like Trinity and all these books you write about being the subject matter expert of your expertise, I am now writing a business book because I've written 14 books and none of them are business books. Zero. Zero. So in November, I'm releasing The Power of the Pen. And then next year, I'm releasing Books to Business and Beyond. It makes sense because I built this whole business from a book, right? And so I want to show people the journey and how possible it is. And we trademarked the name. So it's a registered trademark name. So I'm just going to write the book, right? So, but I love that all of your books are industry focused, right? So not only do you know your stuff, but now you're the subject matter expert because you have an indelible impression that cannot be erased with time. It's one thing to have your degrees, and when you die, right? It's one thing to have, speaking engagements, and when you're done, and 50 years from now, you're gone, and there's no other word. But these books, when Trinity becomes 60, your book is still alive. Your book is still there, right? It's your story. So now I have this whole new thing called Your Story, right? YOU, comma, STORY, like history.
So I like that. Okay.
So
I like that.
Story, right? So when you write, the power of the pen, right, creates your story.
Yeah.
So tell us about how you were able to get your kids involved in these business aspect that you now do.
So my little ones who are, again, another situation where it wasn't really intended for them to become business owners. But this is what I want to say to any parent out there, though. When your kid comes to you and they express any level of interest in something, one of the things that I think is super pivotal and important that we need to do as parents is to not only listen to what our kids say, because oftentimes they just be talking, because we know kids got a lot to say, and we moving and we're working and we're busy and we're cooking, and so we listening but not listening, right? But being in tune and being able to really listen to what your kids say, and then when they say something, when they ignite a fire, when they when they feel inspired by something, actually do your due diligence and give them follow-up questions about it. See if they're really serious about it. And if they're serious about it, give them the opportunity to try it. Trinity started business first. She actually went through a program called Raising a Mogul. And she went through their boot camp. And she was like, I think I want to start a business. And Trinity was 9. And so I'm like, okay, well, what kind of business do you want to start? And I'm, not sure if she's really serious or not. And she's like, well, I want to sell myself. And I said, what does that mean, Trinity? She's like, well, I like to talk. I like to make people laugh. I like to make people feel good. And so I want to sell me as somebody that can make people feel good. Now, in my mind, as she's saying this, I'm thinking, oh, you want to be a motivational speaker. She didn't have the vocabulary to say motivational speaker. She knew she liked to make people laugh. She liked to make people smile, and she liked to make people feel good. But in essence, that's what that is, right? So I'm listening, and so I begin to share different concepts with her about being a motivational speaker and what that can look like. And her whole face lit up. And when I watched her light up, and I was like, okay, she's for real. let's try this out. So we put it out there. I think we made a Facebook post one day and was like, Trinity is going to be a speaker. And she got booked to speak and was paid to speak for the first time back in 2020. And it never stopped from there. She went from public speaking to writing books. Trinity is now writing her fourth book. This is her fourth book that she is getting ready to start now. She's a visionary author of her own anthologies called Road to the Crown, where she helps pageant girls. Trinity is also a pageant kid. She's held 3 different titles and currently holds a national title right now with Global Continental. But she became an author, and she's created affirmation clothing line. She is all about boosting confidence and helping girls feel good. And so she literally took that one little idea of I like to make people laugh and I like to make people feel good and transformed it into this whole business.
Wow. And not only that, she spoke on our stage last year.
Yes, she did.
He spoke on a stage with only adult. That was how much I love her and how much I was inspired by her. And I've adopted her as my grandchild. So I'm Gigi to her now because she's amazing. Amazing. Yes. And then you did the same thing with Journey. Tell us about that.
So Miss Journey, that's my baby. She's my 10-year-old. So one day in the middle of the pandemic, it was actually in the beginning of the pandemic, when no one really knew what was going on yet. It was like March 2020, when we all knew that we were hearing on the news, like, oh, there's this thing called COVID or coronavirus. But no one really knew quite what it meant. And so the schools had shut down. They had sent all the kids home. Nobody could be on the road. Y'all remember nobody could be on the road, but like first responders. And so Journey, and it's funny because she's my least social kid from an outer perspective. Yeah. But she really is social and she really loves people. She's just kind of shy. And so one day she's like, I'll miss being able to go outside and ride my bike with the neighborhood kids and like seeing the joggers, and we would walk to the park and like waving at people. She was like, I want to do a lemonade stand. So I was like, okay, you want to do a lemonade stand? Sure, we can make some lemonade in the kitchen and set up a stand one random Saturday. Y'all, it went from a random Saturday lemonade stand to the neighborhood around us just sort of encompassing Journey, falling in love with Journey and the lemonade, us perfecting this incredible recipe of this perfect combination of like sweet and tart. And it went from that to being picked up by Lowe's Corporation, news stations, the media, radio, TV, and it blew up. And now Journey runs a full business called Squeeze the Juice. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram.
And not only that, other kids are now partnering.
Yes. And on National Lemonade Day, August the 20th is National Lemonade Day of 2022. So just 45-ish days ago, Journey kicked off her first franchisee program.
Listen.
So yes, she has kids that are now franchises of Squeeze the Juice, and they own their own portion and they're selling their own lemonade.
Listen, I'm telling you, that's why I'm telling you that Kris Jenner better watch out, because you are coming. And so I love that. I love how you were able to see these things in your children. And, unlike some of us that might say, oh yeah, whatever. Oh, you're just joking. You didn't, you took them serious. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that you got to their level on a kid level, but then you were also as serious and said, all right, let me give you the opportunity to see what you can do and look at what has transpired. Yeah. Confidence. Yeah. Like the amount of confidence, because I could see confidence in Trinity just by looking at her, but Journey, you can tell, was a little more shy, but she out there now.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, with her thing. So congratulations about that.
Thank you.
Tell us, what do you have coming up just from your own? And hi, Said. Hello, nice to see you.
Hey, Said. So we do, as you heard, I stay busy because on top of managing these little, they're little powerhouses. They just, they baffle me. These little powerhouses. Also, as I said, I run It Takes Two marriage coaching. So right now we are in the middle, speaking of the author room, we are in the middle of getting ready to launch Evolve Volume 2. The Love Is Over, Not You. And that is the spin-off to volume 1 that we discussed earlier that was written in 2020. So this was written by myself and 8 other ladies during this year, 2022. We will be launching in October. And I'm super excited about this book, Joan, because it will be the first time that I will share my marriage journey, my marriage story in this book. And it's just it's a raw book, because it's people's real life stories, and it ain't all peaches and cream. It's the stuff that don't nobody talk about, right? It's the stuff that we not posting on Facebook and social media, because on Facebook and Instagram, we like to wear our matching clothes and show our fantastic love life, and that's on all the lavish vacations with our spouses, and all of that is amazing and beautiful, and that is a part of what I support at It Takes Two and what I help couples create. But there's another side of a lot of couples who are hurting and are struggling and are having challenges within their relationships. And so this Evolve book is actually going to expose some of those challenges and struggles, and how women were able to overcome them, because it is a book written by all women authors.
And I remember you and I had this conversation like 2 years ago when we were talking about your first book. You really didn't even want to write anything in the book about your story because you were going through a transition at the time. And I remember you said to me, how do I write a book about building marriages or repairing marriages? And I am going through the separation. But it was the very same thing that God wanted you to do, right? God placed you in the situation so you knew how it felt and can help people who want to be helped, or can help people transition into loving themselves despite having to go through a breakthrough. So you had to experience it to be the expert.
Whew, Lord, did I experience it? Yes, I did.
You had to experience it, but remember, God was preparing someone else for you, right? So in that journey, God already got your back, right? And preparing, and something that I'd seen 4 years ago, like I knew, like maybe you didn't know, but I already knew, right? I just didn't say nothing. I just didn't say nothing. But I am so proud of you. I'm so excited. So the book, do you have your link for your book that we can share with your link for pre-orders? You're doing pre-orders right now, right?
Yes, we are. And I don't know how I can comment on the comment stream, or do I just say it out loud?
Tell me what it is and I can type it in.
www.patrice, PATRICE, bush, BUSH.com. That is my link for all of my books. And so you can get all of our books there, to include this most recent volume 2 when it is
all right. I love it. So we just dropped Patrice's link to her book. They're in pre-order now for volume 2 of Evolve. It is a fantastic book. I got to read all the stories, so I know what I am talking about. You really want to read this, even if you are not married. Right? I've never been married. This book gives you so much jewels, so much tips, tools, strategy, techniques in how to prepare yourself. Or if you're going through a separation or you've been divorced, just know that although that part is over, your life ain't over. It's just an experience. It's just your lived experience. And you can pick up and move on. And who knows, your said might be out there waiting for you. I just had to say that. I had to plug that in. But I had to plug that in.
I love it.
I had to. I know you didn't see that coming a mile away, but I had to say that. And if you are watching us today, or if you're watching this replay, just know that we are doing our free challenge that's coming up next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It is called the Books to Business Challenge. You don't have to be an author to be at this challenge. All we want to show you is that gifts, skills, talents, abilities, your story, no matter how bad your story is, your story could be your gift, right? We want to show you how to utilize everything you have in your hand, monetize it, and build a sustainable life. Because if COVID showed us nothing, it showed us that you need to have something on the side to sustain yourself, to sustain your family, to sustain your life. And then books leave legacies. So, Patrice, thank you so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm proud of you. I love the way you raise your girls. I love Said for you. I love you for him. I love this journey that you are on. One day I'm going to come to the marriage retreat. So even if it's just to observe and just hang out with you guys, because
Yes.
always go have fun. I want to come have fun too. So
Yes.
I want to be a part of it the next time around. But thank you.
Can I mention that real quick?
Yes, please go ahead.
I
Yes.
apologize, did not mean to cut you off. Really quick, so we do host 3 marriage retreats a year, Valentine's, summer, and fall. Just finished our fall marriage retreat. Our next marriage retreat is coming up in Orlando, Florida, and it is, and so it's going to be that weekend of Valentine's. It's actually the weekend after Valentine's, because Valentine's falls in the middle of the week, and it is February, let me make sure I get this date right, y'all. It is February the 17th through the 19th. And that is in Orlando, Florida. We take 10 couples at a time, seclude them away from work, kids, family, like all the things that we are convoluted with in our typical days. And my staff takes care of you from Friday to Sunday, surrounding your relationship with love and encouragement and tools and strategy to address everything from communication to co-parenting to finances, conflict resolution, intimacy, and everything in between. And we do it all through fun and hands-on activities. So it's all engaging, not lecture style, but you're going to be moving and doing and having a good time while strengthening your relationship. So if anyone's interested in that, you can find information on our It Takes Two website, which is www.ittakes with an S2, the number 2, marriagecoaching.com.
Marriagecoaching.com. All right, guys. So you've got a lot of information here. Her book comes out. Just go to patricebush.com to pre-order her book, Volume 2 of Evolve. The marriage retreat is coming up in February, the February 17th through the 19th in Orlando, Florida. And if you go to ittakes2marriagecoaching.com, you'll be able to find information about that. And so don't forget, we have our free challenge that's coming up next week. And last but not least, we also want to invite you to the retreat. And if you go to my website, Victorious You Press, to the retreat tab, you get an opportunity to join us for our retreat in November. Patrice, so thankful that you were able to join me on short notice, and I know it's your busy time, but thank you for joining us. Thank you, guys. We love you. I look forward to seeing you soon. Can't wait for it. We know the book is going to hit the bestseller list. No doubt.
Speak it.
Victorious You Press only does bestsellers.
Come on, Victorious You Press.
That's it. All right. God bless you guys. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you, Joan.
Next week. God bless. Take care.